good right here?
I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah. Okay, Coach, you want to start with an opening statement about this weekend?
Yeah, excited to get down to Globe Life, excited to start the season, excited for Team 128. They've been preparing, working hard, doing all the things that you would expect a high-level team to do. Come out since day one, very consistent chip on the shoulder, bad taste in their mouth the way the last season ended, and these guys set an academic GPA record in the fall, highest fall GPA we've ever had. They're engaged with community service, part of our shared language. How you do anything is how you do everything, and these guys are about all the right things, and it certainly feels like we are on the right track to have a great season, but we do it because we want all this preparation to earn the opportunity to get hot at the end and get past where we left off and eventually compete to bring Clemson its first national championship. But all that happens, 4+ months from now. But right now we're just focused on getting to Globe Life, enjoying a fantastic tournament. I was there with Michigan 3 years ago, and what a first-class event that they put on, not only because of the baseball and the big league stadium and the environment and the atmosphere, but the connection with Shriners Hospital and being to add value to some kids that maybe haven't had it easy. We're bringing a player on our team, a kid named Eli, 10 years old. He's got one arm, one leg. He's got prosthetics. He came out here and practiced with us in the fall, and he had as much fun as anyone. And just for our guys to see him, he doesn't look at himself as someone with disabilities. He went out there, all the ability in the world as a baseball player, as a young kid, having fun. And anytime we can shift the target off of ourselves, especially at 18 to 24, and put it on other people, especially kids that maybe haven't had all of the advantages our players have had, and that reminder, that perspective that it's not life and death. It's just playing a kid's game, and let's go out and play it like a kid.
How are you health-wise heading into this first weekend?
We've got our bumps and bruises and nicks and scrapes, and we've got a couple of guys seeing doctors today, but I think that's pretty typical of every season that we've had. We've had guys get hurt during the season, guys get hurt before the season. You just hope that everything is temporary and minor, and you don't know until you see what the medical experts have to say. And we've got a few guys in that boat, but for the most part, feeling good, feeling healthy, ready to go out there and ready for pitch one, game one.
How is your approach into this weekend, knowing that the first two games, obviously, you're not going to be, if I understand correctly, inside the facility at all? You're actually going to have to stay at the hotel room. So what is your approach as far as the game plan and all that, knowing that you're not actually going to be there in the dugout with the guys?
I get to be on the radio, so I'm going to, I can't get ejected on the radio, so I'll be commentating to my best ability, with Qualk and our folks on, what's it called, Hen? WCCP?
Clemson Athletic Network.
Clemson Athletic Network. So I'll be on the radio and doing my very best from there. But yeah, weird kind of dumb rule. Can't even set foot in the stadium. But whatever. We'll make the best of it. Good, as we like to say.
So the radio broadcast is not at the stadium, or you won't be originated?
It should be in the stadium, but we got denied to be in the radio booth. Is that right, Hen?
Yeah.
You want to come out here? So yeah, can't be in the booth, so I'll have to do it from the hotel room.
And have you designated an acting head coach?
Yeah, Nick Schnabel's our assistant head coach, and he and I played together at East Carolina. We've been together this is our 13th season together. So he's team's in very good hands. He could have been a head coach a million times over. He's turned down multiple head coaching jobs. He's as soon as he does take that jump, he'll be one of the better head coaches in the country. So feel really good about him kind of running the team. Coach Jimmy Bellinger running the pitching staff, and then Griffin Mazer and the other guys helping out everywhere else. And so team will be in good hands. And part of what we talk about as the group is, as coaches, our job is to eliminate our job. If we're so active in attention to detail and thorough, and the preparation and the training is good, during all the practice sessions leading up, then the games really should be about the players anyways, and just their time to shine and let them just go get it.
Any hints who might be in your rotation behind Connaught this weekend?
Nope. We actually as a team, we're meeting in 3 hours, and we're actually going to go over all of that. So I have said that and told the team that Connaught will pitch game 1, but we haven't told our own players who's going to go game 2, game 3, and what the way we'll start it. We'll mix the lineup up a bunch, but we haven't told our players the rotation yet. So I'll wait until tell them before we announce it publicly.
Got an interesting mix of returners and transfers in the infield this season. How do you see that playing time shaking out, at least to start the year?
Yeah, so I see a combination of both returners and transfers mixing in the infield, and I see our coaches see about 14 hitters that need to be in a 9-man lineup. So unless we get a bunch of EHs in there, we're going to be shuffling that lineup every game, and we'll probably do that for the first 3-4 weeks of the season, and then maybe try to find some stability and consistency after that. But there's a lot of guys who have earned the opportunity to get in there and be in the lineup and compete. So good problem to have for us, but it's going to mean that we'll shuffle and jumble early on, just more to give guys opportunity than anything else.
You mentioned the Shriners aspect, but just the brand and big game appeal of this tournament, like how they come together on your end to get Clemson in that, and what are you excited about from just the showcase aspect?
Yeah, so I got to know the guys at Rev Entertainment really well 3 years ago, and they're awesome. And again, they put on an incredible tournament. They just do a heck of a job. So their contracts with Globe Life, and they put on in conjunction with the hospital, they put on just a fantastic tournament. And our team had such a good experience in 2022. This was the first opportunity to get into it when our staff first got here. So this was the year that we had an opening in the schedule. So it was just, wanting to jump on that and give our players the experience of playing in a major league stadium in an environment like that, and then opening up against some of the best teams in the country, and just finding those moments of adversity where you get knocked down, get punched in the mouth, and get exposed in certain areas. And I hope we win all the games, but I also hope we come back from this trip with some targeted specific things to learn and grow from. So there's a lot of value in playing in good competition and getting challenged out of the chute, leading up to conference play, leading up to the Gamecocks, and leading up to conference play.
What's Jack Leggett's plans for the first 2 games? Is he
He's
broadcasting as well, or?
He's ejected. He'll be in Greenville serving his suspension.
For the past couple of seasons, went from regionals to super regionals. What's it going to take that next step this season and make it to the College World Series?
I don't know. A little bit of luck. We have all the talent. So, I firmly believe if we would have held on to win game 2 last year, we would have come out on top in game 3. There's no way we were going to be denied. So having been to the World Series twice, you don't just out-talent people when you're at that level. It's the top 16. It's the final, it's the final step before advancing to the World Series. At Michigan, we were the 3 seed in the Corvallis Regional and got paired with the national #1 overall seed in UCLA, and they were way better than us in every facet. And we just happened to play better that weekend. And we were just incredibly confident and incredibly hot, and we carried that momentum all the way through the World Series, all the way up until we faced a guy named Kumar Rocker. It's just, it's really just about getting hot at the right time and getting a few breaks and, things to go your way. But I don't think any coach will tell you this is exactly how you draw it up, because there's so many different ways to get there.
Coach, football teams, NCAA football teams get the chance to play in NFL stadiums during the year. Basketball teams play in NBA arenas, but this is unusual. to get to play in a major league stadium? When you get there, and what is this like to show your guys, hey, this is kind of what the show looks like?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll probably have them, kind of take it in as a fan for a minute. Just kind of that cool factor of, wow, this is a childhood dream to play in a major league stadium. But then we'll also, kind of that Hoosiers moment, like still 60 feet 6 inches, still 90-foot bases, still baseball between the white lines. So, let's just keep it about baseball and make it about how we play during the game and between the lines, and not get caught up in, just this is the biggest, most grandiose stadium, one of the most biggest grandiose stadiums in the country, but just make it about baseball once the game starts. But there'll be certainly a stargazing fandom type moment there once we get there for sure.
Do you get to go walk through it tomorrow, or will the first time you see it Friday?
No, we get there tomorrow, but tomorrow we're just kind of getting there because we have the early slot on Thursday. We have the early practice, and we have an early event with Shriners Hospital. So we're getting in tomorrow night, and then every team gets a designated practice slot. So ours is, we have an event with Shriners Hospital in the morning, and then we have a practice slot, and then that sets up for our game at 11 a.m. Central Time on Friday. So I guess we might be the first game of the 2025 season, or at least tied for the first game of tied for first pitch.
What are your thoughts on the new format with the ACC baseball tournament in Durham this coming year, where every team gets invited and it's single elimination?
Yeah, the coaches had a spirited debate. To be honest with you, I really didn't participate in it. I didn't have much of an opinion. I like it. I like the idea of it better than pool play. I was never really a fan of pool play, but the arguments that were being made and make sense were, if you were a kind of a bubble team in the middle, are you going to get in the tournament or are you not? Having only one loss in the conference tournament is better than 2 losses. And for the teams that go through our conference and maybe are on the bottom half that aren't going to be a projected regional team, giving one of them the opportunity to get hot in a conference tournament. And we've been that team before at Michigan twice, where we had to win the conference tournament to get in. We would not have got in without it. So I'm a big fan of an actual tournament setting to reward something, to reward a team getting hot, but also some semblance of what the postseason tournaments are like. So I would prefer double elimination, but I'd way prefer this format over pool play.
Cam Kenrell, when he talked to us last, he was about 85%. Would you say he's gotten to fully 100% before the first game?
He's 100% in everything, maybe except for, I don't know if he's throwing 100%, but his 85% of his arm is, 100% of other people's. So it's a fully functioning. We probably put some guardrails on him in terms of, diving head first and airing out a throw. I think, things like that. But he's so competitive, he'll probably do it anyway. So. We told him not to crash into the fence last year ever, and he did it many times. So, but he feels good, and he looks good.
We've seen freshmen and younger players work their way into playing time under your coach teams. Anybody this year that's kind of standing out, at least early in the season, some underclassmen that might work their way into playing time?
Yeah, Dane Moeller on the pitching staff for sure. Josh Castellani, TP Wentworth have stood out. Austin Jacobs has looked good. There's been Brendan Bennett, Talon Bell. There's been a few. It's a really good freshman class. It's a freshman class that will be the future stars of this program in the years ahead. So we're excited about this group for sure. And it's hard for freshmen to jump in there and play, but we're going to have to find a way to get these guys to contribute some their freshman year.
Is he going to be okay after?
Yeah.
Like he might have injured his arm the other day.
Yeah, that's what one of the guys that we're gonna find out about, and yeah, hopefully it's nothing, and if any, hope for the best, and hope if it is something, it's only minor and very short term, but we'll know those details hopefully soon. Yeah.
You pushed for the safety netting last year. Now it's here for a full season.
Yeah, looks good.
What was that process like with the administration and kind of getting that all together? And what's it like to see it out there now and the importance of it? Like you spoke about.
Yeah, so Graham Neff and our administration is, thank our lucky stars to have an administration that is behind baseball and a community. And I was telling Henny, just this group of you guys here, covering baseball, just baseball at this school is a big deal. So when we wanted to do some upgrades, and you keep in mind it's in light of the big things that are going on, like rev share, and you have like all these costs that the administration has to all of a sudden account for that were maybe unbudgeted prior to this legislation passing. So this idea of, we're just going to do a bunch of capital upgrades is, it's just not realistic. But to be able to still find a way to do some cosmetic upgrades that enhance the fan experience, whether that be for safety or for fun, they were behind it. So to extend the netting all the way down the lines, to do the turf in the back in all of foul territory, that used to be like a no-go zone. Stay off foul territory, stay off the grass, and it had high wear and tear, high traffic area, and looked like crap. And now to have an actual area that not only looks good, but now we can weaponize it in training, and we're doing base running, defense, and whatever out there, and it's just it's very durable. So it enhances our whole training opportunities as well. And then being able to move the bullpen onto the field, have more of a fan area. When we go to other parks, the fans are right on us, and they've got they've got a roster, they've got everybody's social media, family tree, the girlfriends, they've got it all, and they're picking off, they know our players' girlfriends' names, they know their family names, and they're just crushing them. And they don't cross the line, of course, not condoning that, but that's what we want. We want to be able to have our fans be right on top, to truly create not just the 10th man energy with just being loud and energetic and rowdy, but, to be able to, be a participant in this. So that area down the left field line it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that people are really going to enjoy that standing room area a ton.
You talking about cosmetic upgrades and things like that make the fan experience better. Where are we at on the Cajun Cafe being built anytime soon?
The restaurant?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's one of the big vision ideas. So if Kyle Young makes fun of me because anytime I go like this and I'm talking about our stadium, I'm like spending money in my head. But we basically want to create like a Truist Park Battery fun zone. So like we just did our leadoff banquet, we called it the fun zone. It was concert meets carnival. We had all the concert, we had Carly Miller Band doing the concert, and we had all kinds of carnival inflatables and games and things, and it was a ton of fun. And so it was concert meets carnival meets baseball, and so we want to take that outfield area, and eventually, if we're gonna truly maximize this footprint, and if we're gonna take our attendance and go from 5,000 to 10,000, well, then we need to have an area where fans can go that it's maybe more fun to be outside the stadium, or just as fun to be outside the stadium as it is inside the stadium. That's how I feel about the Braves games. Not that the Braves games aren't fun, but that battery outside of Truist Park is awesome. And so this idea of a 12-month-a-year restaurant that services the Clemson community, whether it's called the Cajun Cafe, that would be a great name, but just something out there, but just an area out there that's a ton of fun. But to get there, we've got to do our part between the white lines. We have got to elevate our program, get this program to a level maybe it's never been before. Really, we've done a good job of capturing the enthusiasm of our fan base, but we haven't got all of them. And we want to get everybody between Atlanta and Charlotte and everywhere in the upstate. We want to make these games so much fun. This is why we do the thing with the bananas, and absolutely ridiculous is just get as many ideas that can engage the fan experience here to create an atmosphere that people can't wait to be a part of. Yeah, the baseball's great, but it's fun to be at a Clemson baseball game. and we won't be able to build the seats fast enough. If we do that, create the entertainment zones for kids and families. So got a lot of ideas swirling, but those are just some of them. And I think people will be excited this year. We're going to be able to take some of the things that we saw from the Bananas, specifically bringing kids and fans out onto the field, and make that in-between inning time a little bit more entertaining than it's been in the past.
So you talk about some of those renovations. I know you talked a little bit ago about getting the outfield walls further out. Like, is that one of those things that the costs right now you can't really do that piece, or is that?
Yeah, we talked about it, and then we hit over 100 home runs, and we said we'll just leave the fences where they are. They're fine. We just have to keep working on our sinkers from the pitching staff standpoint. So, Coach Bellinger, there isn't a distance far enough that walls can go back. Pitching coaches want the walls back. Hitting coaches want to keep them in. So I don't think we'll be messing with the outfield fence right now. At least my focus is how can we grow our attendance and grow the interest with the things that we're doing to engage the fans.
You mentioned replacing about 70 home runs from last season's team. I guess, is there any concern with this group that they won't be able to replicate that or maintain that success from last year?
I mean, there's always a concern, but we feel really good about the transfer class that we brought in. It's hard to rely on freshmen to replace power, because power is usually one of the things that develops latest for college baseball players or baseball players in general. But the transfer class we brought in that's has some high slugging credentials in their previous stops and past resumes. So we do feel good in what we've seen so far this preseason and fall. The power and slugging are going to be weapons that we have as part of our game.
We have time for one more question. Any beer sale update, or is that above your pay grade at this point?
Yeah, so I might have been a little, I might have jumped the gun on that one. Not for actually doing it, but for there's a approval process, and we got Graham and the board of trustees and all the people way above are on it. But yeah, I think all those wheels are in motion. And one more thing, I told Henny, anytime I get a microphone in front of my face, in this world that's shifting, and we're going to commercially driven NIL, and we've got basically 4 months and 19 days till rev share hits and NIL will be commercially driven. And just make a point, and I'm gonna try to do this a lot this year. Ryan Hennessy runs our Instagram account for Clemson baseball. It's got 154,000 followers. And if our fan base can follow our players on Instagram, on X, on TikTok, whatever they're on, but on Instagram especially, and get their following up, it helps our players, whether it be affiliate marketing, whether it be they have more of an influence, they can be more attractive to businesses that want to hire them for NIL deals to promote, sell, advertise, market their stuff. So just a plea to the fan base to follow our players, help get their followings up, and it'll be very beneficial for them. We're not, college baseball is historically, NIL has been pay our bills, not pay for play. We've always been a sport that takes out student loan debts to cover the cost of school. As of today, we have 11.7 scholarships, and the majority of our players are paying their own way to be here. So anything that they can benefit from once the world changes on July 1, assuming it's going to change on July 1, having a social media influence and following is a big deal. So appreciate the fan base doing that.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you guys.